Hi, this is Larry Aylward, Editorial Director for Superintendent Magazine, and welcome to this podcast. My guest today is Bob Dugan, President of Thor Guard, a company that specializes in lightning prediction and storm warning systems. Spring is here, and so is severe weather. And when lightning and thunderstorms threaten, a carefully designed and well-executed severe weather management plan can mean the difference between life and death. And today Bob's going to answer some questions about how golf courses can develop and implement a severe weather management plan. Bob, welcome.
Larry, thank you. Really, it's great to be here, especially speaking with you and a lot of your listeners today.
Well, it's good to have you, Bob. And Bob, you and I know that golf courses and country clubs would agree that their most important responsibility is to the personal safety of their members, guests, and staff. That said, are more courses and clubs implementing severe weather management plans, or do more courses and clubs need to consider implementing them?
Larry, I think quite a few clubs already have plans in place. I mean, most of the clubs with Thor Guard systems do, because we give them a variety of plans that they can start with. And that not only applies to golf courses, but for colleges and universities and school districts, park districts, mining companies, even the airlines.
Mm-hmm.
And what they do is they tailor them to really meet what it is they're trying to accomplish. But I do think that overall, I mean, there are, 12 to 14,000 golf courses in the country. I think for the most part, a lot of these plans are just not specific enough. They're not practiced. And, of course, by not having all of these pieces in place, you're just inviting a disaster.
Mm-hmm. Bob, can you describe in a nutshell how a successful severe weather management plan would work on a golf course?
Sure. Let's take, you've got the golf course superintendent. Now, his responsibility is going to be for his workers, and he has some very specific and unique issues when it comes to trying to get his workers off the golf course. They're on large metal trailers and trucks and tractors.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably holding rakes and things that are nice attractants to lightning.
Mm-hmm.
But they're also spread out in a very large area throughout the golf course. So it is very difficult to get all these people to come in at the same time. And even if there's a horn warning system out there, because of the noise, and they're usually ear protective pieces, they can't hear those horns.
Right.
So in a situation for a superintendent, it is very critical that he provide his workers with as much time as possible, and far more than the golfers need.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as you move to the golfers, to the guests, to the swimming pool, tennis courts, making sure that the staff knows what to do when a warning is issued,
mm-hmm.
and also what is expected of their membership,
mm-hmm.
because they too share the responsibility to seek shelter when there's a warning issued.
Mm-hmm. Right. Bob, can you provide me with an example of how a severe weather management plan has potentially saved lives?
Probably the most highly publicized, and I kind of believe the one that really put the issue of lightning prediction versus detection on the map, occurred in 1998 in Park Ridge, Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this was a park district who had a young man killed the year before from a strike that came back from a storm that was clearly over Lake Michigan, hit him and killed him in front of a bunch of soccer students.
Mm-hmm.
The next year, the city had implemented, actually the park district had implemented a 3-system, 18-park conglomerate of Thor Guard equipment to try and provide the entire city and all the parks warning so that something like this wouldn't happen again.
Mm-hmm.
And in the process of putting the system in, which took probably 6 months, the city also spent quite a time with me writing safety procedures so that people knew what the horns meant, the difference between a red alert and an all clear, what the lights meant, the whole 9 yards, so that when those horns went off, they knew exactly what to do. And just coincidentally, on the very night of the dedication ceremony, which was exactly a year to the date and almost to the minute where John had been killed an year earlier, the horns go off with no sign of weather.
Wow.
Everybody took shelter because they knew what the long blast meant. And at one park where there was soccer games, so there were kids and scoreboards, light poles, volleyball games, this place was very crowded. The horns blew, and everybody knew exactly what to do, even though they were probably wondering, is this a test or is this another part of the PR the city was doing? But they all sought shelter.
Wow.
About 10 minutes later, a strike came in from about 12 miles away. It's the first strike scenario, and hit the scoreboard.
Wow, that
took
is
out
something.
The scoreboard, took out the light poles. Major damage done. But
wow.
nobody hurt.
That is something. That is absolutely amazing story. Took the scoreboard out. Wow.
In fact, it was such a good story that in early 2000, the History Channel did a special on it.
Is that right? Wow.
And it was quite well done.
Well, great example of how a severe weather management plan can save lives. Hey, Bob, I want to thank you for taking the time to talk about this very important topic. I'm sure our listeners learned a lot from you, and I hope superintendents who don't have severe weather management plans in place will take a second look at them. Golf courses in general, I should say. This is great to have you.
Well, Larry, thank you very much for inviting me here today. I hope that some of this interview, as short as it was, though, will kind of encourage some of the superintendents and some of their people to take a second look at their safety procedures so that they can better protect their friends and their employees.
Thank you, Bob. This is Larry Aylward with Bob Dugan, and thanks for listening to this podcast.